When President Trump was confronting this threat months ago and forming his task force, Democrats, what were they doing? They were in the middle of their impeachment. They were too busy. Here with reaction, Republican Congressman Steve Scalise, Congressman Doug Collins of Georgia. Congressman Scalise, I look at this, I see all of our hospitals waiting over a week. I see workers, through no fault of their own, needing money, and small businesses, big businesses, and they're fighting for the National Endowment for the Arts and Humanities and the Kennedy Center. I don't get it. You got to help me out here. Maybe you understand it.
Well, Sean, there's not a lot to understand there, but it shows you the misplaced priorities of Speaker Pelosi and her radical allies. While everybody else was working together, Republican and Democrat, with President Trump, who was solely focused on fighting for jobs for American families who were facing maybe being laid off, maybe those small businesses shutting down for good. President Trump wanted to stave that off to help get relief to those families. And Nancy Pelosi literally held the bill up for days to get her pet projects, including the money for the Kennedy Center. And interesting, she'd used the choice of words, fiddlers, because it was the fiddlers, the violin players, all the musicians at the Kennedy Center that got laid off right as the bill got signed. They ought to give that money back. We've got a bill, Brian Stile, a colleague of mine, has a bill to take the money back from the Kennedy Center. But it shows you how misguided Pelosi's priorities were. She was fighting for all these far-left Green New Deals and solar panels on airplanes and crazy stuff that nobody else was focused on. People were trying to literally save jobs and the livelihood of our economy, and hospitals getting the resources they need. And President Trump was pushing as hard as he could to get that money out, and she was holding it up for those kind of things.
And I'm looking at Doug Collins. I'm seeing, all right, Franklin Graham, God bless him, he's building this hospital in Central Park. The Javits Center, 3,000 beds. We got this ship behind me. That's 1,000 beds. You got 3 other hospitals that President Trump is working on just in this area, and 100 nationwide. And the Army Corps of Engineers building it in record time. How is it in the middle of this they still can't stop their obsessive, compulsive, destroy, hate Trump mentality? I don't get it.
Well, Sean, I think they've been doing it so long they just don't know any better. Remember, just a few months ago, they were saying he needed to be impeached for a phone call that went nowhere. We've been fighting this, and you and I have been talking about it for a while. But it really shows the priorities. President Trump has the people's priorities, while Nancy Pelosi is the Pied Piper of pork and liberal ideas. That's all she's been doing. She found an opening when the Senate was negotiating to come in at the last minute and say, whoa, this is not enough. We're not getting enough. We want to have our special projects done. While the president was meeting every day, talking to reporters, making sure his task force was on pilot, she was behind closed doors saying, how can we get things passed that we can't run through Congress, much less get signed into law, and we'll force it, we'll coerce the American people while this bill is on the floor, and we'll try to get what we have. Fortunately, we stopped most of it. But when you've been doing this so long, Sean, she knows nothing else right now. She only knows get rid of this president, even if it means people right now having to wait on aid that could have went a lot sooner.
Yeah. It's amazing. I'd say the 90%. It's not political. This virus doesn't discriminate. Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. Thank you both for what you're doing. This is important.